Ah, soul searching is fun. This is one hell of a roller coaster. This is not. Taking the hard path on purpose is challenging. You reap the benefits, but it is fucking challenging. But the aha moments are really good. The aha moments are really good. Like right now, the topic seems to be, who was the person that awoke the thing inside of you, and are you with that person? And I had to think about that because I was like, well, there are a few different people in my timeline. It's not just one. Like I have the one that showed me and introduced me to that for the very first time. And I can look back now, since I'm healing and all this stuff is resurfacing, I can look back and be like, yeah, I was definitely a lesbian back then too. But between my trauma and my childhood, kind of being thrown into a pond, so to speak. That's what I call it. I call it the fucking pond. I don't know what else to call it yet. I was put in the wrong pond. Because everyone's like, oh, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Yeah, well, I was put in the wrong pond. It meant I was stuffed in the wrong box. Like I said, at a very young age, after I had been abused, I was pretty much told that my only option were white men. So, well, white males, whatever, men, boys, the male community. Like that was my options. Those were my options. Words are still tough, but we're getting there. We're getting through shit. But like I remember the first girl that ever did that, and like she even knows who she is because we've come in and out of each other's lives at like random points throughout our meeting process. Like from the time we met to now, like we've popped into each other's lives like on and off. But yeah, she was the one that let me know, hey, this is way better than anything with the boys. Like that's what I liked. Like I enjoyed that. And I'm not calling her out because I don't know what all her people know about that, and I'm not trying to throw nobody under the bus. She knows who she is, and that's all that matters, and I appreciate that more than you probably even know at this point, because now that I'm like looking back and healing, and we were so secretive about it. Like we didn't even talk about it. Like if it wasn't inside the confined quarters that we agreed on for things to happen, like it didn't get talked about. Like it was literally like once that door shut and opened, what was in the room stayed in the room. What was on the outside picked back up. Like nothing. And like I appreciate that now looking back, because I'm like I have little pieces that I can go back to and be like, yep, see, I tried to come out. Like I tried to like emerge out of the box in the pond that I was like forced into. Like hey, that's where I belonged. Okay, so I was trying. Like now I can look back and like certain friendships make more sense now, and like the people that I hung out with and like the things that I was doing in that time frame, like especially like that was really fresh after my abuse. Like I was already like being thrown into like counseling and therapists and mandated like all this shit, on top of coming into like starting to see what my sexuality actually was, but then kind of getting like whoop, stopped and like redirected, not for me but for other people. Now I don't hold that against anybody now, but that's totally for another video, because I do need to do a family update at some point. But then there are like little pieces, like there's like other girls that I had like kissed and stuff like that, but nothing to where like that first initial, like that first girl, like we were obviously really young, so obviously it was like PG rated, because like no clothes came off. It was just, I'm keeping that for myself. I'm not telling you that one. I'm keeping that for myself and her, because she knows. I don't know how much she remembers, but I remember quite a bit. So I like it. Usher was my favorite back then. But then there's like, and then she popped up into my life later on too, like during the drinking stage, like 21, 22. I was always at the bar. And then ended up running into her again there too. And kissed her again. A couple of times actually. But I never thought anything of it because I was just like, oh, we get drunk and we do shit. And then I had to, think about that the other day. And I was like, not when you were kids. You weren't drinking and doing shit. Nothing. And then the last girl that actually really made me think, because I just thought I was bi-curious for a long time. And then I was like, oh, no, I'm just bisexual. No, this last one. And like none of these were relationships. Like none of them. They're just people. They were just like friends or acquaintances or whatever. And the last one, it was my fault. My fault. All on me. Like she didn't do anything wrong. It was just, I went from like friend to best friend, and then we kissed, and then I am feeling things that I don't know what these are, and then I found out what they were. And I was like, oh. And I know I already loved her because like she was my best friend, and I was like, oh wait, no, uh-oh. I was like, shit, I fell in love with her. I was like, but that's not her fault. Like, I gotta like calm it down, like reel it back. Like, she didn't ask for that. Calm down, pump your brakes. So like anytime someone's like, oh well, who is it and are you with them? And I'm like, no, I'm not with them, and it's a tricky, confusing situation. But I'm respecting her wishes. She decided that she wants to be in the situation that she wants to be in, and I am fully supportive of it, and I'm going to be respectful and not be selfish in any way. Just let her do her thing. So overall, I guess there's two really big ones that showed me who I was, but unfortunately there were circumstances in my life that didn't allow that to be the kicker, the like throw me straight into like, hey, you're a lesbian kind of experience, which it should have, that first one. And if you see this, and you know who you are. If anything, that would have done it. If I hadn't had so much trauma and shit going on in my life, that would have done it. That right there would have been like, fuck you, men. I don't, nope, I'm going all for this shit right here because that was fun. Like, I can remember shit, and I'm like, yep, if I could choose one to be like, hey, that would have been like the starting the lawnmower, that's the kickstart. Like, that would have saved a lot of shit. But I also understand that I had to go through the other things in my life and all the bullshit to get me where I am now, because now I can understand and process it a lot better than I could have back then, because my life would have been a living hell had I actually come out then. Like, it would not be like what it is now. And I like where I am now, because as confusing and as painful as it is sometimes, because the resurfacing and processing it before you can move on, aside from all of that, I'm pretty happy with who I am, and learning more, like unlearning like what I was taught, and like relearning what is actually my truth. Pretty fucking awesome. Kind of happy about it, kind of loving it. So I just wanted to fill you guys in for a little bit on at least that topic right now. I'm a little spent, so I'm gonna go fix it. I'm gonna go medicate for a little bit. So see ya.